Hello out there to you. Let's figure out the tax burden on two sides of the market after an excise tax places the tax on the buyers. Okay, so we've got this market here. Left alone, the place where supply and demand equal is 6, and then the quantity is 60. Okay, government comes in and sets some kind of excise tax, so it looks like how much is the tax? Well, the tax is the distance between the two demand curves. So you just follow it from here, 1 up to 4, 3 up to 6. So the excise tax is $3 per unit. Okay, so you can see it right there, $3 per unit. Now, that's not what this is asking. This is asking about the burden of the tax. So this is what share of the tax we paid by the buyer and what share of the tax we paid by the seller. So to do this, it's easier, I think, to say, okay, what is going to be the price that the buyers will pay, and what's going to be the price that the sellers will keep. Okay, because when we were at equilibrium, it's going to be 6 and 6. There's no tax, but now there is a tax. So we're going to go to where D after tax equals supply. That's right here. Okay, and then that's what the sellers get to keep. Okay, so the sellers get to keep 5, but the buyer has to pay 8. Okay, because it's the whatever the sellers get plus the $3 tax. So the distance between the two has to be the tax. The question burden is asking what's the distance between equilibrium and the price that the buyers get to keep, and what's the the equilibrium price distance between that and what the sellers get to keep. So you can see pretty clearly that the burden on the sellers is going to be 1 because it's 5 instead of 6, and then for the buyers it's 2 because it's the distance between 6 and 8. Now I've seen questions where they ask like what is the percentage. This is pretty easy. This is 67% if I round it, and because that's 2/3, and then this is 33%. So you can calculate the percentages there. You could also calculate what the loss to consumer and producer surplus is. So like this right here that I'm highlighting. That's the deadweight loss from the tax. Okay, and then the loss. So the whole triangle is going to be the deadweight loss, which is not hard. That's just 1/2 the distance here, 3 times 10. We can just do that in our heads. That's 30 and that's 15. So the whole deadweight loss is 15. The share that's lost to the consumer surplus is this part. I'll shade it this way. And the loss to the producer surplus is this other way. So it's just this little triangle if you wanted to break that in half there, right? And we can actually do that in our head because we know the percentages. So the loss to consumers is going to be 10, and then the loss to sellers is going to be 5. We just add those together. How much tax revenue does the tax generate for the government? So this is going to be the tax times the quantity in the market. Okay, so quantity in the market now is going to be 50, and it's 50 times 3. We can do that in our head. That's 150. That's how to do that.